She came up with the term banality of evil. She covered the Eichmann trial in 1960-61 in Jerusalem. Eichmann, of course, was one of the chief Nazis, and he was kidnapped by the Israelis and brought back for trial in Jerusalem for his crimes. She wrote a book about it. It's a very, very interesting read. If you want to understand what the banality of totalitarianism looks like, that's it. She also has a big, thick book she studied what happened in Soviet Russia and what happened in early Germany all the way through to the taking of power by the National Socialists. Because there's no difference between fascists and communists. There's no difference. It's just a different set of thugs. I couldn't understand why people wouldn't engage. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he said, Eddie, a very close friend of mine, said, I'm no longer following you on Twitter. And I said, why? And he said, well, because of your stuff about COVID and all that, you know. And I said, I'm just talking about, you know, vaccinating children is wrong, and the vaccine passports, the yellow passes, I call it leper pass, should have, you know, Michael D. Higgins should have never, that should have gone straight to the Supreme Court. And an amazing thing happened. He put his two hands up over his ears like that, two hands, if you can imagine. And he started to shake his head like a child. And I looked at him and I realized he's traumatized. He's actually in a state of trauma, you know. And I felt compassion for him then. And then I began to understand there's something here that needs proper explanation. It needs scientific explanation. And the science of psychology needs, I believe, to have its position elevated. So Desmet's book does that in spades. He basically describes how this kind of mass formation, this human murmuration takes place. He also has a quote from Hannah Arendt at the bottom there, which comes straight from his book. The moment Arendt had anticipated in 1951 seems to be rapidly approaching the emergence of a new totalitarian system led not by ringleaders like Stalin or Hitler, but by dull bureaucrats and technocrats.